Yeah, I'm thinking this is a great spot for Saquon Barkley, who finally
100%,
came alive
yes.
last week. The Bills' run defense obviously notably bad, and this is the type of running back specifically who gives them fits, guys who can break tackles and hit those explosives. Like I could see Barkley going 20 carries for 140 yards, where like 110 came on 2 touches.
And Lane Johnson's back.
And Lane Johnson's back, yeah.
Exactly.
And the flip side too, Eagles' run defense has been awful the last 5 years. Like 130 yards a game, 4.7 yards per carry, explosive run rate relatively high. They've given up some touchdowns as well. So James Cook v. Saquon Barkley.
What?
Why are you shaking your head?
You're welcome. What is going on? Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that good stuff. I'm John Hansen. This is the Week 17 edition of Matchup Points here at fantasypoints.com. We've got Graham Barfield and Brett Whitefield ready to go. Now, full disclosure, obviously Christmas Eve is Wednesday. Christmas Day is Thursday. We normally record this basically on Christmas Eve, so we are recording this a little earlier, well, definitely earlier, a day earlier on Tuesday. So we are not as up to date on everything, all the schematics, all the wide receiver corner matchups and all that, but certainly it is Week 17. So we've been at this for 3 months plus. So we should have a pretty good handle on the matchups. And I will say here at the top, if you do get to listen to this before the Christmas Day games, I do have 3 very good props that I like with some data here. So without any further ado, that for the 3 Christmas Day games, I've got basically 3 best bets that'll pop out for each as we cover each game. And we started off with the Dallas Cowboys at the DC Commanders. And of course, also we're a little handicapped because we don't know about a lot of these injury situations here. Graham, I'll ask you, do you have a semblance of a clue what's going on at quarterback in DC this week? Is it no on Mariota?
It doesn't seem likely. The spread moved yesterday. It opened 5.5. It's up to 7 now. I think it'll be Josh Johnson, and it's unfortunate. Obviously, this is best possible matchup for McLaurin, but yeah, I think it'll be, at least Johnson's got a week of practice under his belt this time, but yeah, it's still not great here for this Commanders offense. Cowboys, I will say, John, they have a 28 implied point team total. Obviously Pickens and everybody just went off in this last game. So Dallas, Dallas is in a great spot. Obviously Washington's defense, we've been targeting them for the whole back half of the season. I mean, they're a bottom 5 run defense by every metric, pass, run, no matter what. Totally. So at least it's a good spot for Dallas. But yeah, I'm not super confident in this Washington offense here.
No, not at all. Well, without any further ado, before we get to Brett's thoughts on the game, let me pop out the play that I think is a great one for this game on Christmas Day. Javonte Williams over 74.5 rushing yards over on BetMGM. Dallas 7-point favorite. Over the last 5 weeks, DC gives up the second highest success rate on zone runs, along with 4.65 yards per carry, 12th worst. And on those runs with the 14th highest explosive run percentage. Among 55 running backs with at least 50 carries the last 5 weeks, Javonte is 12th with a 60% success rate, 4.96 yards per carry, 16th out of 55. His 248 yards on these runs, 6th most the last 5 weeks. His 4.96 yards per carry in the zone runs, 54.5% better than the 3.21 he is averaging on the man gap run. So a very good schematic matchup for Javonte, coming off the worst game of the season, and I'm assuming they're still trying to win, Brett. So I think Javonte o'clock, they're going to feed him, and he should crush them. They're terrible on defense in DC.
Yeah, that was my angle in this game, was Javonte Williams for sure, especially when you talk about game script. There's a really good chance Dallas blows out Washington here, especially with Washington's goofy QB situation this week. So I think Javonte o'clock is the time.
And by the way, Graham, I would pick up Ryan Flournoy if you could in like a dynasty. I mean, he's probably rostered, but man, he's looked pretty damn good here. And I guess we don't know about George Pickens. It could be Ryan Flournoy and CeeDee Lamb next year.
Yeah, I think Flournoy picked up a knee injury. He was limited on Monday, so keep an eye on that one. So it might just be Pickens and Lamb. But yeah, I'm with you. Flournoy has looked good. I mean, they certainly have a third receiver. They had him the whole time. It's kind of funny that they did all this, kind of roster moves. I was just going to say real quick, CeeDee Lamb obviously didn't get it done last week. You were noting, John, all week. It was a great schematic matchup for Pickens. This is one for Lamb, though. Obviously, Washington just getting killed by slot receivers. So if you did somehow survive Lamb last week in your leagues, just a couple catches, you're getting rewarded with a great matchup here. Commanders still giving up the league high in terms of yards per game to slot receivers. So I like Lamb quite a bit. Like your Javonte call, too. Dallas should absolutely roll in this spot.
Absolutely. And per your point, Lamb got 5 grabs for $110 and a tutty in mid-October. Pickens did get 4 for 82. I think I took the over on Pickens that week, and he actually didn't hit it. But FYI, Jake Ferguson, and DC's been terrible over the middle of the field, got 7 grabs for 2 tutties in the matchup. So he's certainly a good play. And I don't think we feel good about anyone. Maybe Rodriguez if you're absolutely desperate, but they could get blown out. He looks pretty decent, Rodriguez. I mean, just a guy, Brett, but not bad.
He's a bowling ball. I mean, he's a bruiser type running back. So,
yeah.
Let's
go to Detroit at Minnesota. And unfortunately, we don't know about J.J. McCarthy. I mean, what a buzzkill here, because this was setting up to be a very interesting game, Brett. But, yeah, I got nothing on Max Brosmer. It is. I looked at all the schematics here the last 5 weeks. It actually is a good schematic here for Brosmer somehow, but maybe he runs a little bit against man coverage. It is good against for JJ too. But I mean, what do we do with this, Brett? I mean, if we don't know, we don't do anything.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, every schematic matchup is good against the Lions defense right now.
Yeah.
But it's worth noting the Lions played a season low man coverage last week against the Steelers. They dropped down to like 13%. The secondary injuries have just they're insurmountable at this point for the Lions. Gotcha. It's obvious when you watch their games. So I would expect them to continue with that. And then Brosmer just looks bad. He looks really bad. So JJ was on a heater to start that game too.
I know.
And then
ran his 4th touchdown. I mean, think of prorate that over a full season. How many rushing touchdowns does McCarthy get? I'm like 7 or 8, man.
Yeah. For sure. You still got to feel good about Addison and Jefferson probably though, even with Brosmer, because again, this Lions defense has been so bad. I don't trust. I think any quarterback throwing to those guys against this defense is probably going to have some production. So I don't think they're dead.
Wow. Well, my special bet here, and I'll get your thoughts on this, but how about this? And I lost this last week somehow. I'm shocked at how little production the Lions got in the running game. But I'm going Dave Montgomery here. It's so doable. 32.5 rushing yards. Vikings over the last 5. I mean, again, it's the same thing, Brett. It's a zone deal, right? The Vikings over the last 5 weeks give up the 7th highest success rate against the zone run, 7th most, 10th most yards per carry. In that span, Montgomery is 6.56 yards per carry on those runs, 5th best out of 101 running backs with at least 1 carry. And that's it. What do you think?
I mean, it's funny because the Vikings defense is flipped. So they started the year horrible against gap runs, and they've made some schematic tweaks up front with the front 7, the way they're fitting runs. But that's led to them now getting gashed on zone runs. So I like Monty and Gibbs both in this game. Definitely more. I don't know how much I trust Monty's workload right now.
Oh, I know. We're talking 33 yards for a prop.
Yeah, he's just a complete afterthought though, and I don't know. Dan keeps saying he wants to get him the ball more, but then he'll go 4 drives without touching the ball in a row.
Yeah, but they're 6-point favorites, likely against Brosmer at home on a holiday. It's not Thanksgiving, but it's close, right?
Yeah, and they were 7.5-point favorites against the Steelers. Just saying.
I know. But and the Vikings defense has been bonkers this year. Let's talk about that. Because they gave Goff and the offense a ton of trouble last time out, Brett.
Yeah, that double mug A-gap linebacker blitz, the Lions literally couldn't block it. So hopefully they've got that one figured out in the tape room this week, or else it's going to be another long day.
Well, Graham, not much else to say, I bet. I mean, obviously everyone is using Amon-Ra. I don't particularly like J-Mo. He did get 4 for 66 and a tutty in the matchup, but it was a late tutty. I think they caught him in man and Goff threw that ball to him on the left. It was a great throw, but for most of the game, J-Mo didn't do crap. Not much insight here because you can't really say anything strongly positive about the Vikings. But do you have anything else?
Yeah, J-Mo does get this matchup. Vikings play a lot of too high coverage, obviously, because they don't want to leave their corners on islands. But Brett, that was the week before Campbell took over as the play caller, right? So we've kind of got this like usage change with J-Mo. He's getting a lot more horizontally breaking routes, getting a lot more scheme targets over the middle. So that really hopefully should even out in this matchup. He's been awesome since Campbell took over as play caller. My only note in this game is I'm kind of with Brett. I think the Vikings probably find a little success in the pass game here, and it's just, the Lions last 5 weeks, they're giving up 322 passing yards per game. That's crazy in today's NFL.
Right.
Brosmer, he's thrown the ball 45 times this year, targeted Addison 10 times, Jefferson 8 times, Hawkinson 7. So at least the targets have been very consolidated here. I could certainly see Addison popping a big play, but I think they've got to keep trying to get this momentum going with Jefferson because John, to your point, he was having a pretty decent game in the first half there until they kind of took the air out of the ball, and then obviously McCarthy got hurt.
Yeah, I think they kind of an edict was handed down. Let's get the ball to Jefferson this week, and I'm sure it'll be similar even if Brosmer does play. Let's move on to the next game here. Obviously, Denver at Kansas City. I was talking to somebody today, and they're like, Stranger Things. Not that I'm watching that show. I did watch the first couple of years, but anyway, they're releasing it, like an episode on Christmas night, and I'm like, you may want to watch that instead of Denver, Kansas City, because that's going to be ugly. But here's my best play here, and I'm baking into this a little bit of Sean Payton being a little bit of a prick. Because it did lose last week, and it's Kansas City. Bo Nix over 227.5. I looked at the database, Brett. Over the last 5 weeks, KC has run man coverage, top 3 clip. Maybe I don't know why that is, honestly.
Because they're having to send extra guys to get home.
Yeah, they have no pass rush.
Yeah. Okay. And Nix's 10.0 YPA is the 4th best in football in that span on the season. He's very good against man. Cortland Sutton, out of 161 receivers with 25 targets, his 3.85 yards per route run against man, 6th best. He got 295 last time out, did Bo Nix. Sutton did well. Franklin did well. I don't think we're going to get Trent McDuffie. So I do like Bo Nix to do a little damage here in this one, Brett.
I like that call too. On the other side of it, I kind of low-key like Xavier Worthy.
Oh, no.
Wow.
I know his role is really – I like Rice too for what it's worth, but I know his role has been terrible, but the Broncos now for like 4 or 5 weeks in a row have put on tape that you can gash them on crossing routes. They're giving up 73% completion rate on crossing routes. I know this is really nuanced, but Worthy runs a crossing route on 32% of all his routes. So, he is that's the answer for this cover one heavy defense is you're going to hit them with mesh and all kinds of, Y cross and stuff like that. So I think Worthy, Rice runs a good amount of crossing routes too, and I think he's a obvious fixture in the passing offense. So I'm not worried about Rice, but I think this is a week, if any, you could play maybe some Xavier Worthy props. I don't know that if you're in your fantasy championship, you're going to be bold enough to start him, obviously, but maybe for a prop bet perspective, I like Worthy over here.
It seems like Denver's pass rush is kind of faded too a little bit. They're not.
They're super sack dependent. So the pressure rates, they're gonna rack up sacks just because they have a bunch of speed rushers. And with those guys, usually what happens is either you win quickly and sack the quarterback, or you lose. And I think you're seeing that sometimes. Just the consistency of them getting home is faded a little bit, but they're still going to pile up some sacks.
Let's go to the next game here, Week 17, championship weekend, most important weekend in the history of fantasy football. The Houston Texans at the LA Chargers. I do have early schematic looks, and by the way, when I'm looking at the wide receiver coverage tool and quarterback, I'm only using the last 5 weeks. To your point a moment ago, like teams are changing things up here, so I'm only going last 5 weeks. Doesn't look like a wonderful schematic matchup really for anyone. Certainly CJ Stroud has been good against zone, but Brett, this Charger D, man, they zone it up as well as anybody else. Like there's not many holes in that zone. So what do you think of Stroud? It looked like they kind of took a step back last week. Maybe the running game and the running back room being in a state of flux, they kind of lost their mojo last week, it seemed.
They took a massive step back. I mean, Stroud was pretty brutal in this game. They couldn't get the run game going, to your point. I actually kind of think this is a candidate to be a super duper low scoring game. I don't know what the total is here, but I'm going to guess I'd play the under on that. The Chargers can't block anybody on their offensive line.
39.5.
Yeah.
39.5. Okay.
That's low.
So that's low. And I would probably say I'd go like 35, I think, here. Texans and Chargers both have great defenses, and there's two offensive lines in this game that can't block anybody. So I kind of think it's going to be a struggle bus all day. I had a really hard time picking this game on my show, but I don't know that I'm trusting Stroud. Unfortunately, a lot of championship teams have Nico Collins, and they're going to need him this week, but I'm not feeling great about it.
I tell you who I picked. I already submitted mine. I took Houston. I think
that's smart.
I'm more worried about Houston's, about LA blocking Houston than vice versa.
Totally.
Right. Anything from you, Graham?
Yeah, that was my note in this game. Obviously, Herbert kind of, had a great game this past week. He was a huge part of, kind of fantasy success this past week, especially in DFS. But it was basically his first good game in a month, and I think we kind of see the old Herbert come back. And it's not his fault. It's just this pass rush. You look at the last 6 weeks. I mean, the Chargers are, bottom 5 in terms of their pressure rate allowed. It'll be interesting to see if they can run the ball, because obviously the Raiders had some success in that department.
Shocking.
Real quick, Kamani Vidal has a neck injury. It might be all Omari and Hampton. So if you've got Hampton, after last week, he had a good game. He might get a bell cow workload here. I don't have much in terms of just like matchups in this game, but I'm with Brett. Like, I think this game goes under. We've got a number of games that look pretty gross just overall, and obviously Ravens-Packers does as well. I think this is going to be really low-scoring open to this week. Texans, like, this team, in terms of their pass offense, Brett, I wanted to ask you, like, it seems very Nico dependent, and it's weird because we kind of got this, like, Jaden Higgins surge in the middle of the year, and that's kind of gone away.
Where'd he go?
Yeah, what's going on here? Because like it seems like the moment that the Texans kind of like pick up a little bit of pace, they fall back on their old ways a little bit.
Yeah, the Higgins thing doesn't make any sense because he's passing the eye test to me, man. So
yeah,
gosh, was it a week ago? Jawar Jordan had like over 100 yards rushing.
Yeah,
again, was that the Cardinals?
Yeah. Week
15.
Yeah,
and so I think that helps when they get the run game going, but I don't know where Jaden Higgins is because, again, passing the eye test to me, he looks, he's not like creating massive separation, but he's winning a lot of routes, and he's so big. He's like Nico light. So I don't know. We joked about Davis Mills maybe being better for the offense, but the offense was better when Davis Mills was playing. I'm not going to lie. So
a little bit better of a ball distributor out there, like a point guard. Probably going to be another Dalton Schultz game for what it's worth, even though I just looked at nothing stands out, but he's Mr. Zone, and they're all about the zone here.
Yeah, that was my one matchup angle in this game. Is Nico probably going to get shut down, but Schultz, to your point against zone, he's been awesome. Chargers have given up some good games to tight ends as of late too.
What about Gadsden? Like, where do we go?
I needed to look. Did his routes get cut again? Because they cut down the week before.
Probably so, because Trey Harris was on the damn field so much with Johnston and Ladd.
Yeah.
No, he was back up to 70%. But to your point, Trey Harris and Keenan Allen were splitting routes last week.
Yeah, that's ugly, man. I did like Ladd last week. He came through, but I don't know about this week. Let's move on here. The Fantasy Points Podcast Week 17 edition of Matchup Points. Let's go to, here's another one where we're in the dark a little bit with myriad injuries. Baltimore at Green Bay. Like, I don't know where we go here, Graham, with I'll tell you what. Actually, I'll go to you, Brett, because, you and I were watching Malik Willis at the Senior Bowl. Like, I'm very impressed. Like, he shows a lot of poise. I don't know if he's doing progression reading and all that, but it seems like he's playing with poise, and he is a threat with his arm. and he also runs very well. I'm impressed by Malik Willis.
He looks awesome. We've talked a lot about the Reclamation Project QB story this year, and he wasn't a first-round pick, so he doesn't get listed a lot. But I there's a chance he goes and signs somewhere next year and competes for a starting job for sure. But yeah, he looks great. The only problem is, John, he got injured on the last play of the game, hurt his shoulder, and there's a chance he misses this game. So we might have Clayton Tune as the starting quarterback in Green Bay this week.
Oh my goodness.
Clayton Tune versus Tyler Huntley, baby. Let's go.
Woo. Clayton.
That's how we drew it up for the fantasy championship. For all
Let's
the marbles right there.
Wait a second. No, wait a second. No, it's not Clayton, right? It's it is Clayton Tune. Oh my God. Wow.
Yep.
Wow. I have not come across any Clayton Tune analysis.
Well, the other tricky thing is like the Packers kind of can't do much in terms of like they're in pretty much in the playoffs, but they can't move up,
improve
right?
the situation, yeah.
Yeah, so like why would they risk Love or Willis or even Josh Jacobs? Like I think they might sit Josh Jacobs, finally just tell him like, dude, you've been playing through this knee injury for like a month and not particularly well this past week. I did see a quote from LaFleur that Jacobs may have gotten benched in the second half. That was a little bizarre usage there. My only note is that it would only make sense for Derrick Henry to get 25 carries in this game, but the Ravens continue to be bizarre in the fact that they just like don't load this guy up with carries. I feel like they should have just loaded him up against the Patriots. And
hey, they have a rotation. They have to stick by it.
Dude, I just don't get it. It just seems like you're cutting your nose off to spite your face. I really don't understand it. Maybe Henry's wearing down and we don't see it behind the scenes, but the numbers haven't really shown that.
I mean, 7 yards of carry for a guy. He's wearing down. He's only at 7 yards of carry.
Yeah.
Packers can actually still win the division, Graham. So I think they got a little bit to play for. Bears, they could easily lose that San Francisco game, and then they have to play the Lions in the last week. So if Packers win out and Bears lose their last two, they win the division.
True. Yeah. Low probability, but yeah.
Yeah, super low probability, but probably.
I don't think we can use any. Oh, sorry, we're cutting each other off left and right. That's the first time we've done that. It only took 17 weeks. But I don't think we can trust these Packer receivers in this one here. Like maybe Jaden Reed. I see they're a little sus against the slot, but man. And then Baltimore, they have something to play for. But of course, Graham, I don't feel good about Lamar.
This is it. I mean, right? Steelers are 2 games ahead.
Right. This is it.
This is it. They have to win. Lamar's hurt. It seems like a big time injury. You look at the spread and the implied team total. Like if they had Lamar, they would be probably 5-6 point favorites even going into Lambeau. So yeah, it's probably going to be Huntley. Yeah, like I said, you should load up Henry, but to Brett's point, they have this weird rotation going on right now. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. Zay Flowers, I guess. That's really the only way. That's it. Like that's the whole pass.
Raven tight ends are dead.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah, it's over. It's just a gross rotation, and then there's like very little volume to go around for both of them. But yeah, Zay continues to look good. I think Packers corners are a little burnable.
Yeah, no doubt. And then by the way, Wilson. Wilson will be probably a top 20 running back this week.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Chris Brooks did mix in a little bit more, but yeah, he's going to be one of the best RB2s on this slate. He's going to get a ton of carries.
We do want to remind people that the Fantasy Points 2026 early bird subscription plans are live. Get the rest of 2025 and all of 2026 for the lowest price we'll offer all season, 20% off your selected package, and we'll continue with everything for the playoffs, of course. And I will say I've had a very good year on the standalone national games this year on props because I'm like totally homing in on them. And I'll do that for the playoffs, and I will be taking more unders. So that means my winning percentage will increase. I've had a good year of unders. New for 2026, we are splitting out the in-season NFL betting package into its own new package, but as a reward for our loyal subscribers, any Fantasy Pro or Fantasy Bundle subscription will get our new package included for all of 2026 at no additional cost. But if you only take advantage of the early bird special and purchase a Fantasy Pro or Fantasy Bundle subscription now, make sure you lock in the best rate and the best deal of the year before it expires on Super Bowl Sunday. That's 20% off any Fantasy Point subscription. And just for our podcast listeners, we're throwing in an extra 5% off with the code The Worm. One word, no spaces. Now through Super Bowl Sunday, the Fantasy Points Early Bird Special. Seattle at Carolina. Sammy Darnold coming off a good game. And Brett, boy, that Panther D, they're kind of similar to the Chargers in that, like, it's kind of a suffocating zone here. So what do you think of that matchup for Sammy Darnold and JSN? I guess there's no bad schematic matchup for JSN.
No, there's no bad schematic matchup for JSN, but I think the Panthers could potentially force some turnovers from Darnold's been a turnover machine again this year. He did everything he could to lose that game the other night against the Rams, throwing the ball directly to Rams defenders multiple times down the stretch. But the Panthers, the way they scheme up disguises and kind of try to confuse you post snap, I think is really progressive in a way that I don't think Darnold does well against these defenses at all. He's a lock on first read, let it rip, or
play action first read guy.
Yeah, or bad things happen. So I think they need to lean on Kenneth Walker. Actually, is kind of my read on this game. The Panthers are awful against gap concepts. Like 5.4 yards per carry allowed. The last 5, I think it's been 5.7 yards per carry allowed on gap concepts. And the Seahawks have transitioned more man gap stuff with Kenneth Walker, actually. So, and I know he's been really hard to trust all year. So
yeah,
I don't blame you if you don't believe me on this, but I like Kenneth Walker in this matchup.
Well, I mean, to your point, like that makes so much sense that it has to happen, quite frankly, because Carolina's going to be trying the same thing on the other side. Mm-hmm. So why get into shootout, Graham? And Walker did look unbelievable last week. So at the very least, if we start Walker and he craps the bed, it is the Charlie Brown, Lucy with the football thing. But at least you don't feel really dumb because Walker did look really good last week.
When I think I'm out, he pulls me back in every single time. And listen, I mean, I was wrong on Walker last week. I was just saying, like, you can't trust these guys. It'll be Charbonnet at the goal line, and it was. But finally got the big plays from Walker. I'm with Brett. That was my angle in this game as well. Panthers' run defense has been bottom 10 all year. They were the worst run defense in the league last year. They've not been very good this season. I think Walker and Charbonnet as well. I think you can lump Charbonnet in this conversation as well because he still is their goal line back. Seahawks have a good implied team total. Big favorites over a surging Panthers team too. So, I think both are pretty strong RB2 flex plays this week. Obviously, Walker has the big play upside for sure. Panthers side, Tet.
What do you do with those guys?
Man,
the
Tet
backs.
Tet looked unbelievable, I was going to say, but man, this is like worst possible matchup for him. Seahawks front can give Bryce Young trouble, and then obviously, their corners have been really, really good. But yeah, their running backs, like it's, we're pulling our hair out at this point. I think it's kind of like become a corollary of Seattle's backfield, right, with the Panthers.
Right. Yeah, Tet did look awesome though, but bad schematic matchups across the board. And by the way, I liked Coker last week. Now he hit the prop, but that doesn't do much for people in season long. Like you can't trust anybody
besides Tet.
Besides Tet, that's it. Yeah. That's it. So the running backs are kind of desperation plays.
Yeah, I mean it did get a little closer. Rico did lead them in backfield XFP this past week, but they did get away from the run heavy approach. I wonder if they try to get back to that against Seattle because this pass defense is so good.
Yeah, it is in Carolina, which definitely helps, but still a tough matchup. Arizona at Cincinnati. Boy, Jacoby Brissett. A lot of dudes waited till the worst moment last week to have their worst game of the year, and Brissett was one of them. Javonte Williams was another, by the way. And by the way, well, not to backtrack, but Brett, I was very impressed with what's his face, Jesus, Quint, the running back for the Hampton, American Hampton last week. Real quick, like, where are you taking American Hampton next year? I think like he's a second round pick.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll let Graham. Graham's probably got a better feel for that than me. They need to get him more downhill than they do, but he does look good. So
he does look good. But anyway, I did want to crowbar that in there. But this game here against the Bengals, I guess we got to go right back to the well here with Brissett, because let me see what the total is in this puppy.
It should be the highest of the week, right?
It's 53.5. It's huge.
There you go. We got to go back. We got to go right back.
This game.
Yeah.
I would look at Michael Carter, Michael Wilson, of course. Obviously, Trey McBride.
Yeah, if you have McBride and Chase in a fantasy championship, congrats on your win.
It's over.
You won the league.
You won. Yeah. How about that catch by Wilson? That was insane.
The touchdown catch?
Yeah. That was absolutely absurd.
Body control, insane.
Yeah. He's having an unbelievable season. Just the route running for a guy of his size is incredible. I'm with you guys on Brissett, by the way. The Cardinals played a really wonky game script against the Falcons. Falcons actually kind of controlled that game. They had the ball for 36 minutes. Cardinals only had the ball for 24, but they still ran 56 plays. So the pace was still pretty good even in those 24 minutes. And I mean, Brissett prior to last week was averaging nearly 50 pass dropbacks per game. This should be a spot where he has to do that again. Obviously, Bengals came out and played super angry against Miami. Burrow put it on them. They certainly could do that here to Arizona. This Cardinals defense has been sliding for 6 weeks now, especially against the run. So Bengals kind of should be able to do whatever they want in this spot, right?
Yeah. Hey, Brett, on the other side of things, like DJ Turner, like if they want to travel him in a way of saying it, get him on someone more than not, let's say, now the question is that Marvin or Michael Wilson? I guess it's probably going to be Marvin.
Marvin's easier to travel with because they don't move him as much, where Wilson will play all over the formation. And
right.
I think you start traveling with DJ Turner, you're probably going to get run on a little bit. So, traveling with Michael Wilson with DJ Turner, I think you get run on a little. They're going to get run on anyways, but, I digress. So.
Harrison should play more this week, too. He was limited last week. Kind of expected that coming off the injury.
Yeah, 3 targets, 1 grab for 14. Not great. How about Elijah Higgins usurping McBride last week? Oh. There was another one. Trey McBride, love him, but damn, dude.
Yeah, he hurt a lot of teams in the semis. At least you're, like you guys were saying, you're getting rewarded with this unbelievable matchup here.
Yeah. I'll even start Michael Carter this week against the Bengals, by the way. I thought Michael Carter, by the way, Brett, looked damn good running the rock last week.
He does. He's got so much like little lateral wiggle. It cracks me up. Arizona's inside zone heavy run scheme. They're averaging like 5.07 yards per carry against a Cincinnati front that's awful. They've been really bad against zone too, over 5 yards a carry on the season, I believe. The Bengals give up a ton of adjusted yards before contact as well, so it's not even hard. They don't make it hard on you. They miss a ton of tackles. It's a good matchup for Carter for sure.
Yeah, one other sneaky one. I did like him last week, Graham Gesicki. This week, I know it's volatile, but the Arizona stinks against tight. I stink in general. But any thoughts? Would you be willing to dip into the Gesicki pool, if you will?
Yeah, he did get there for us last week. I liked him as a streamer as well, John. It feels a little thin though, right? Like we got Higgins back, we got Chase back. We'll see. Yeah. I think that the big thing is Noah Fant. If Noah Fant sits again, then sure, I'll play Gesicki. He got a 67% route share last week without Fant. If he's out again, then I'll be back in as a streamer. But
could be a shootout.
Yeah, I think it will be a shootout. This is by far the best game environment on this slate.
Let's go to Pittsburgh or Cleveland, and I guess we got to give the Steelers credit, but give me a break. I mean, I can't stand this offense. Is there any rhyme or reason to it other than just finding a way to get the ball to Kenny Gainwell?
Gainwell looks great.
He does look great.
Their entire offense revolves around this backfield, and especially now with Metcalf suspended. So
right.
Browns
and DK,
the Browns have completely shattered as a run defense.
Yeah, they've given up. They gave up against James Cook in that first half.
That whole team is playing so Myles Garrett gets a sack record. That's it. That's the only. Harold Fannon's out there too, laying it on the line, but everyone else is like just mailing it in. So I actually like Gainwell in this matchup as well as I did last week. So
I have a personal thing with Gainwell. Whenever I back him, he craps the bed, and vice versa. So I don't know what. I guess we have to at this point.
I'm starting him in 2 finals, so I need him to pop.
That's unbelievable. Well, he's been popping like crazy. And it actually pops the schematics for Aaron Rodgers for what it's worth. But I don't trust anyone here in the receiving core. There's literally no one. It's so bad. 3 tight ends. Can Darnell Washington go away, by the way? This
He's hilarious after
fatty.
the catch. Just watching him after the catch is genuinely hilarious.
It's like watching WWE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is. This is going to be, without Metcalf, this is going to be one of the worst receiver rotations we've seen all year. They're going to play Thielen more. They'll bump up MVS's routes. To your point, they'll play a lot of 13.
Ugly.
Yeah, it's just the backs here for the Steelers.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't even do the tight ends because they got 3 of them.
Yeah, I do love Harold Fannin in this spot. Switching over to Brown's side, he's like probably the second or third best tight end on this slate behind McBride and Kittle. Huge target volume. He's gotten 17% or more of the targets in his starts with Shedeur, and he's averaging 16.1 PPR points per game. Would basically make him like a top 5 fantasy wide receiver over the last 5 weeks. And Steelers have been terrible against tight ends. They just gave up 7 catches and 60 yards to the Lions, like backup tight ends, Anthony Firkser and Shane Zylstra. Yeah, Anthony Firkser. Yeah, former Titan.
He caught 2 seam balls.
Yeah,
like he's stretching the field on the Steelers. That's hilarious.
Yeah, Fannon's going to have a huge game.
And they are also bad against the slot, and Fannin lines up in the slot a lot. As well. So
so he'll avoid their corners. It's a really good spot for him.
Really good. Jacksonville at Indy. Speaking of really good, Trevor Lawrence, you know me, I'm a body language guy, and I've been saying it I said it last week, I think. Trevor Lawrence has never been happier in his life than he is right now. And it shows. I mean, you can see it. He's got a pep in his step. He's been decisive. He's smiling. The O-line, Brett, I'm shocked at how well they're holding up, basically, and I think that's a big part of it. But Trevor seems to be very decisive right now and running well, throwing well, ball location. What are your thoughts here? Am I overstating this at all?
No, he's on the best 6-game stretch of his career by far. And he did it against a fantastic defense last week. So I'm officially all in on Trevor finally. It took 5 years, but here I am. He looks great. I think the O-line, like Liam Cohen gets a lot of credit for being the QB whisperer. He might actually just be the O-line whisperer, and that fixes everything. Right. Look at Tampa's O-line last year. Look at with this kind of ragtag unit in Jacksonville. He's got these guys playing out of their mind. I know the run game could be a little bit better, a little bit more consistent, but
exactly.
They're giving Trevor time, and he's making teams pay. I love Parker Washington in this matchup.
Oh yeah,
Colts soft ass zone defense.
Yep.
Oh God, their defense is bad, and Washington's just going to eat them alive underneath. Catch and run type stuff. Maybe a couple seam balls here and there, but it's going to be a nightmare for them.
I already wrote that in the waiver wire report. Because we're obviously down to only 2 more games. I'm like, I have Washington at like 3. I'm like, because he's going to kill this week. Graham, how about Brenton Strange, man? I loved Brenton Strange last week. We told a bunch of people on the live stream. I did. And then I lost the freaking Brenton Strange prop by 1 damn yard.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah, he still had a great game, too. Caught that touchdown as well. I like him again this week. The volume hasn't been amazing. It's been mostly Myers as the wide receiver 1. To Brett's point, it's just an amazing matchup all around. But Colts have very, very slow linebackers, giving up the 5th most yards per game. Obviously, Kittle just destroyed them last night. Strange is kind of a similar player in that he's got some run after the catch ability. Obviously, he's not near as good or sudden of a route runner as Kittle, but this is a really, really good spot for Strange as well. Lawrence has been a league winner. Legitimately a league winner. Just the last, basically since the bye, like he's QB2 in fantasy points per game behind only Josh Allen. And Colts are not going to have Gardner. They're not going to have Ward again. They're going to get absolutely smoked in this spot.
By the way, did anyone like Trevor as a pick this year?
Yeah,
I did. I actually did.
And the only argument I made for him was in best ball was that this offense will be more improved, but I didn't see weekly QB1. I thought he'd be the same QB 16, and he kind of was that. He was that in the first half of the year. Mm-hmm. But he's a must play. I was wrong about him last week. I thought the Broncos pass rush would definitely do some more damage. He's just, to your point, very comfortable in this offense.
He's completely healthy right now, too. He looks fast.
He does. He's running away from guys.
Dude, when he broke the pocket, he was booted out against the grain to his left. I mean,
he's been doing that. I mean, he's looked
just
unreal. The second reaction plays, not just scrambles, like just breaking, contain, and getting out, and second reaction throws. Those have been very, very good. Very good. Jags are legitimately in contention for the number 1 seed. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
They just need a little magic, but they can get it.
I'm trying to find where I ranked them, but it's neither here nor there because no one really cares. But I know we were above the markets there on him. But I mean, I just thought, if it's ever going to happen, because my thought process real quick was, we know what happened when Trevor entered the league. I mean, who the coach was. Urban Meyer. And I've never been a Doug Peterson guy at all. I mean, at all. Yeah. So as soon as I got Liam Cohen, I'm like, well, if it's ever going to happen, it's got to be a McVay tree guy. And here we are. And then what do we think about the Colts here? Like, Graham, do they go to Riley Leonard?
Man,
now that they're kind of done?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Rivers is just too much of a competitor. I think if he's signed, he's going to want to see it out. Obviously, they're dead. I was just wrong about Alec Pierce this past week. He's incredible. He's making himself so much freaking money this coming off season. I didn't think Rivers could push the ball down the field like he did last night. Obviously, he's got the mind to know where the ball goes, but he actually did push the ball downfield well. Right. And this is an amazing matchup. Yeah, it's all timing. Yeah, but this is an amazing matchup for that. They're going to be trailing this game. I'm back in on Pierce. Jags have been getting smoked by outside wide receivers pretty much all year. That's the one weakness of this team still. Pass rush has kind of come alive. Run defense has come alive, but they're still pretty burnable in the secondary. 3rd most yards per game to opposing outside wide receivers.
One thing that had to have helped, Brett, obviously, as I said before the game, I said this is literally the best possible matchup in the world for Phillip Rivers. He was able to step into his throws quite well, and it felt like, and I think Aikman mentioned it on the broadcast. By the way, I think Troy Aikman is awesome, but hey, everyone knows what you did last week. They had to test down the field a little bit. That did work. I am shocked though that Phil and Tyler Warren don't seem to be on the same page.
Yeah. I'm surprised that he's got this rapport with Pierce. Like that little throw by technique Pierce did. It was like a go ball on the right side, got in the DB's blind spot, hit a little throw by technique, and turned, and the ball was on his face, like 30 yards from the field. I was like, how? Rivers hasn't played in 5 years. How is he doing this? But then that he missed Tyler Warren on a real simple touchdown early in that game. So,
what it is? I bet you. I'll tell you what it is. It's just a theory. Visualization. Because when you are coaching, and I'm the lowest level coach of all time, but I coach Little League Baseball. And when you're coaching the sport, like I would actually play in somewhat competitive environments after being coaching. And I wasn't that bad because, like when you're teaching it all the time, you're always thinking about it and you're visualizing. I bet you that's, because he never really truly stepped away from football.
Yeah, true. That's a good point.
Anyways, just a thought. Let's move on to Tampa at Miami. I lost a Devon Achane prop, Graham, by 1 damn yard.
2 weeks in a row for me, man.
That looked unbelievable after that first half.
Oh, I know.
They got smoked.
Yeah. What do we do with? I mean, where's your confidence level now? And with Waddle, he actually had a decent game.
Yeah, Quinn Ewers was okay. Obviously, he had the picks, but he was okay. I mean, Brett, was he that much of a step down from Tua?
The first half, he looked better than Tua, and then just kind of fell off a little bit in the second half. But no, I mean, ball's coming out on time in rhythm.
Right. That's what I mean. He's running the offense.
Yeah, running the offense. And it's an Achane-led offense anyways.
What is Baker doing? Is he walking the offense?
Man, that last pick. Yeah.
They've lost 6 of 7. 6 of 7. It's the Lions broke him on that. That was at a Monday night game. Yeah, Monday night game where the Legion of Whom, the Lions had no starters in the secondary, and Baker only put up 9 points. And since then, he's been awful.
Yeah, I think he's been hurt too. But yeah, he's not been the same guy. That's for sure. They are still live though. I mean, week 18, they get the Panthers back at home, so it's crazy. They've lost all these games, but they're still very alive for the division. They have to win, obviously, this week.
I don't want to open up any controversy, but I want to ask you a question because a friend of mine ran into Baker Mayfield at a restaurant a couple of weeks ago. It was after the Thursday night loss to the Falcons. And here's Baker Mayfield in the Bahamas with his family. Is that kind of wrong, or like you're gunning for the playoffs, and you're going to the Bahamas with the family? I know it's a short week, but any thoughts there?
I buy into stuff like that. Amon-Ra went to Vegas for his birthday over the Lions bye week, and the team has sucked since then. So, I mean, he took a bunch of players with him. I don't know. I'm just saying, I don't think you should be doing that kind of stuff in season.
That's why I brought it up.
Yep.
Here's Baker Mayfield. They lost a heartbreaker to the Falcons in Week 15. That weekend, he took his family to the Bahamas.
Yeah,
I will say that's a norm thing.
Yeah,
in Florida, because the Bahamas are so close.
Sure,
you can be if you can take a flight from Fort Lauderdale to the Bahamas.
That's
and
true.
Be there.
And I don't want to throw shade on Baker because I like him. You know, it is kind of a bad look, though. I mean, I have to say, because it wouldn't be a bad look if they won, but they didn't. Just throwing that out there. I don't want to be controversial here at all. Yeah, how about Big Mike last week? What are you going to do? He scored. There's another prop we lost that was like money in the bank. We are spread a little too thin these days in Tampa. You know, with McMillan, Godwin, Ibuka.
Mike's getting the
target. Mike gets his targets, but to your guys' point about Baker, like this was the problem with Ibuka for the whole 6-7 weeks that he really struggled. There was just like he was getting the volume, but the catchable target volume wasn't there. And Baker's accuracy has just not been as pinpoint as it has been.
Yeah, but we did see the Burrow and the Bengals just completely dismantled
Dolphins
defense.
Yeah, they're dead. I mean, they packed it in last week.
They were playing hard, so I was a little worried about Burrow last week.
Yeah, I know. They packed it in once they got completely eliminated, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, we're packing in mode here, I guess. That's the prevailing thought. I used to be like, oh, this time of the year, people are in an evaluation mode. I'm worried about teams wanting to evaluate young players. Now we're just worried about like, have they quit? Basically, playing New England at the New York Jets. Brady Cook taking a step back last week. Brad, if you did, that shows real diligence. Did you watch the Jets tape yet?
I watch every game, unfortunately, John.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
I was surprised Aaron Glenn was so quick to call Brady Cook the starter again this week, because I'm not sure what he's looking to get out of him. Or what
He's looking to get the tank, Brad.
The tank. Yeah, the tank.
Yeah. Ooh. Man, that was rough. I
took a step back, huh?
Oh yeah.
8 sacks. Brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Took like 6 steps back.
Literally.
Yeah. God. I mean, AD Mitchell though, I have to say, like, because he's a single high guy. New England does single high, and they have been vulnerable. So if you do need upside, I think it's still there with Mitchell. But last week wasn't horrible, but it wasn't very good.
Yeah, Patriots defense a little bit better than the Saints offerings at this point too. So this is I don't know. I don't really have an angle for Jets out here. Maybe Breece Hall. Like there's some schematic stuff here. Like they've been doing this power counter type stuff with him. He's averaging 6.2 yards per carry on that. New England's been susceptible to getting gashed on those runs, 5.1 yards per carry against gap scheme runs. So maybe Breece Hall, but the game script's going to get out of hand, so I don't really know if I trust that either. But
right. And very impressive performance by the Patriots last week. I actually went to bed. I missed the half the game, but about 40% of it. But frickin' Steph Diggs Graham goes off. We knew it was a good schematic matchup, but as we stated, the week before was too, and he didn't do anything. But I still don't trust anyone here.
The Patriots are so frustrating because for the previous 3 weeks, Diggs had been playing like half of the pass snaps, and then this past week they finally decided, hey, we need to play this guy full time. He got 78% of the routes, and he smashed. Like that's the thing with Diggs in his games where he's played more than 70% of the snaps, more than 60% of the snaps. in their pass game. Like, he's been awesome this season. It's just they just do this weird rotation. I'm not trusting him, but you do have to, like, if you did play him last week, you're going right back to him as a wide receiver too. It's just an amazing matchup. I was going to note just real quickly on the Jets side, to Brett's point about the Jets and Breece Hall, he's like just 50 yards shy from 1,000-yard season. Got 16 carries this past week. They're going to try to get him 1,000 yards, I think. It's not like, Breece has had this super successful season, John. He was a hit in the fact that, like, he stayed healthy in the third round, but, like, you were never excited to play him ever with Breece Hall. I'm not excited to play him again this week, but did want to note that, they're going to probably try to get him 1,000 yards. And this Patriots run defense played great, like weeks 1 through 10, but they have kind of struggled as of late, fallen off a little bit.
I did an article in July. I did a bunch of season-long props. Really did well on them. Breece Hall, I was in. Over 925.5 rushing yards, minus 110. He hit it. But I did bail when the vibes, a month later, I bailed because I was in. Contract year, rebuild O-line. There was a lot to like. But, man, it's ugly. Jets continue to jet. Some of my other ones, Quinshon Judkins over 625.
Nice.
Travis Hunter's a loss. Debo over 675. Tyler Warren over 500.5. Easiest win of all time.
He got there in like the first half, first 8 games.
Yeah. Drake May over 32. That's pretty good. One I'm waiting on here is RJ Harvey over 725. Are we going to get there with Harvey real quick?
He could backdoor it. Maybe not, actually. I just pulled it up. He's at 469. What'd you get it at, 725?
725. Yeah, we're screwed.
Yeah. He's only at 469.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's all come in the last, obviously, 5 weeks since Dobbins get hurt.
Wow. Oh, well. Can't get them all right. My call of the year, though, was that Barkley under. That was the easiest one of all time.
Nice.
Like that, you can't get any easier. Like, you literally can't get any easier. Anyway, let's go to New Orleans at Tennessee. Bright.
No, let's not.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, was it a bright spot last week with Cam Ward? I didn't see a lot of it, honestly, Brett. That's why I'm going to ask you. It looked good.
Cam was balling. I was throwing some of his throws in the our Discord, company Discord. The high level stuff is there. It reminds me of Caleb Williams' rookie season. Just like there's going to be a lot of bad in there, but the good just makes you go, ooh, this could be special one day. So, and considering the surrounding cast, he's got nothing around him.
Right.
Got a left guard. That's it.
He's got those tight ends. They're very relevant. Gunnar Helm
and Chig. Yep.
Gunnar Helm looks like he's about 14 years old. By the way, did you see his profile pic?
Yeah.
Does not look like a professional football player, but good for him. And the running game. I mean, better late than never on Tony Pollard. This is the longest wait. I waited 3 months, Graham, for Tony Pollard. Now, do we trust him? I think we probably have to.
Yeah, Saints have played pretty competitive run defense, but the volume has been really good with Pollard. Obviously, he's gotten the lion's share of the carries. So, I think he's back, low end RB2, not getting all the any passing down work. Spears is getting pretty much all of that, but yeah, he's solid this week. I actually really like the Saints offense. They've been playing really well.
Yeah.
The Taysom thing is something we got to really actually think about and talk about this week. They just kind of committed to him in terms of using him as a legitimate running back. They didn't want to play Estime. They didn't want to play Evan Hull.
Yeah, forget those guys.
The Saints did call their most pass-heavy game plan of the season. They had a plus 17% pass rate over expectation. So if you've been playing Shuck as a streamer, and especially in Superflex leagues, just keep going back to it. But
100%.
Brett,
they're a pass funnel too.
Is the Taysom usage legit? Was it just trying to send him off for the final Saints home game of his career?
Or he's all emotional after the game.
Yeah.
Oh, was he? They had no running backs.
Yeah.
Evan Hull and Audric Estime. I mean, yeah, I think going to Taysom there's a pretty smart idea, to be honest with you. And I'm the biggest Taysom hater there is. So
yeah. I can't stand him either.
It just felt throughout the years, it's just felt forced at times.
Yeah, exactly. But this was the right moment. It's like, oh, everyone else is hurt, so let's use it. He's on the roster.
Boy, man, how about that Olave? What a pick. What a pick that was. No injury concerns all year. You got a rookie quarterback. He's balling. And we'll see about Valet, but Olave and Juwan Johnson looking good here. But yeah, Tyler Shuck. Brett, I mean, I'm to the point now where I would go with them.
They've won too many games too. You know, this draft class,
Right.
Brett. This draft class seems not great at quarterback.
Chuck is 4-2 as a starter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not that QB wins is really a thing, but you're winning way more than you did without him. So
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
this
13 over since week 10.
wow. Yeah,
He's been good.
This QB class is legitimately not a thing. Mendoza is going to be the first
It's
overall.
not a thing. Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Mendoza's going to be the first overall pick, and then
Yep.
you're going to have
Yep.
a bunch of randos debating Ty Simpson versus if Dante Moore even comes out. He might not even come out. You know, so it's going to be rough. Another
Mendoza,
year.
what do you think of Mendoza? He looks pretty damn good, man.
Yeah, he looks all. I mean, mentally, I love him.
Yeah,
you know, he's QB1 material. He's an Andrew Luck, Jared Goff type mentally.
100%. He's like strong-willed.
Yeah. What's different from him versus most recent first overall picks, though, is he doesn't have that high end arm talent. He's got good arm talent. But he's not like a Cam Ward or a Caleb Williams type where he can just sling the ball. And he's not very athletic. He's a little bit more athletic than Goff, but he's definitely, if you created like a spectrum between Jared Goff and CJ Stroud, he kind of fits somewhere in there.
So he's less athletic than like McCarthy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I would say that's
he could be an elite pocket passer though. Like I think his best range of outcomes is he turns into like a Jared Goff type.
It sounds like we've got, you know, basically a bunch of day 3 picks kind of after him.
Yeah, I could see a team biting on Simpson's arm talent in the first round, but maybe like in the 20s, like a Jackson Dart kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh boy, not a good year to need a quarterback then. All right, well, there you go. That could help Tyler Shuck in Dynasty for sure.
Not to belabor this point, but like Mac Jones, Malik Willis, we were just talking about him. These guys are going to get. I think Marcus Mariota might as well. He might sneak in this conversation to get, you know, legitimate starting chance.
Davis Mills,
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, that's true.
Kirk
Cousins
will
is going to. Yeah, Cousins is probably stick around.
Maybe there'll be some sort of league kind of turnaround where they actually embrace pocket quarterbacks who win. Probably not, but it would be nice. It would be nice for us.
I thought Cousins played really well the last 2 weeks. He had a ball on a third down conversion. I think it was to Pitts. It was a freaking laser.
Yeah.
That was the strongest that he has thrown a ball in a number of years. He's actually able to drive it now.
I actually think my conspiracy is he's purposely putting extra oomph on the ball just to prove the naysayers wrong. Because you see him, some of them, he's reaching back, bro, and he's ripping it.
He's still got it. I think he's still got it.
He does.
I've actually met Kirk Cousins and talked with him, and I sense for as nice of a guy as he is on the surface, and he was very nice when I met him. He's definitely got an edge to him. Like
all business.
Like he's definitely got this edge. Like fuck you, I'm gonna prove you wrong if you rip me, kind of a thing.
But the nice way,
the nicest possible way.
Yeah.
Anyways, just saying.
You could tell. I watched that thing on Netflix. What quarterback? You could tell he's got an edge. You know,
he's got an edge.
Even with the big contract. You know.
You know, because I approached him and I could tell that he was waiting for me to kind of maybe say something negative, and I was like, no, dude, you're balling, because this is when he was still on DC, and then he goes, oh yeah, but he definitely has a little bit of a protective edge there, but it's worked for him. The New York Giants at the Vegas Raiders. Now, here's a question: were the Giants literally quitting last week, trying to get a high pick, because they didn't attempt a pass until like damn near halftime last week, Brett?
Yeah, I mean, well, Jackson Dart in the medical tent again.
Yeah,
so I don't know. It definitely seems like a tank job here.
right.
Like they tried to lose this game against the Vikings, and with Max Brosmer starting, it should have been pretty difficult to lose. So I don't know.
Yeah. Who do you got 3 years from now? Who do you want on your dynasty team? JJ McCarthy or Jackson Dart?
On your I mean, Dart's always going to run more. So for fantasy, I'd probably take Dart, I guess.
Then you'd sell him after
agree.
3 years because he'll break down from the running.
I might sell him now, John.
Like Lamar is.
Yeah. Well, and with Dart, it's head injuries too, though. It's not just lower body; it's all of it. So
he has no regard for his body.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, I don't think Scatabo being in the building helps.
Right.
It sounds crazy, but Scatabo kind of like eggs him on.
A couple wild, they're like wild
they're
guys.
Like cowboys,
They're like cowboys. They're like young suburban teens from New Jersey going to Action Park, the most dangerous water park in the world in the 80s. And I was one of them who did that. And
did you really? I saw the documentary on that. That was wild,
dude.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I almost died there like 7 times in 1985. You know that loop thing?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
that's the big thing. It's an Action Park, and we're going off on a tangent here, but Action Park documentary, you got to see it on HBO.
Yeah.
There's this big loop thing. They cheaped out. They got like engineering guys who had like associate's degree in engineering to do it, and I literally walked into the park. That's the first thing I did by myself, and I'm like, this is not right. I almost died in there, yet I kept doing it all day.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Anyways, well, a lot of Giant fans have went to Action Park. I'm shocked you saw that documentary. It was unbelievable. Yeah, it was great. It's very entertaining. But for the Raiders, what the hell happened last week? The Raiders looked pretty good.
Genty's back, man.
I don't think Janty ever went. He's looked great. I don't think he ever really went anywhere. They finally just got him a couple of creases, and this is like an incredible matchup for that. Giants have gotten worse on run defense, y'all. 6 yards per carry over the last 5 weeks. That's just terrible. Raiders are favored as well. They're 1.5 point favorites in this game.
Come on.
I mean, I don't know how. I mean, if Janty certainly hurt me this season. He was basically just like a volume-based RB2. If you got him through the semifinals and you got him into the finals, he's like a legitimately like top 12 running back play this week. Just got 93% of the snaps too. So yeah, this is an amazing spot for Janty.
It was shocking to see him actually have room. And he did look incredible though. Like he looked as fresh as he looked in week 1. This is why it's a young man's position, quite frankly. Looks like a pretty decent schematic here for Theo Johnson, by the way, if you're desperate. But, I mean,
I can't do anybody in this Giants.
I can't.
In this past game, man, I cannot do it after last week. They didn't try.
They might be tanking. Yeah. Of course, last week he had an excuse up against Minnesota. They haven't given up a touchdown to a tight end in 6 games. Like, I've never seen that in my life. That's insane.
Since Laporta, right? Wasn't it Laporta the last one?
I don't even know.
Something like that, but.
And Laporta's been out for what feels like 6 months.
Yeah. I think it's been about 6 games.
Yeah. That would be week 9. Yeah. Unbelievable. Yeah. Bowers, you're starting. Jack Besh is coming on a little bit, Brett.
Yeah, they're playing him, and he looks good.
He does. Mm-hmm.
They're getting him the ball. So
he does. That's not bad. Trey Tucker's dead. That's it. I can't believe I just brought up Trey Tucker. Let's move on to Philadelphia at Buffalo. This is intriguing, man. What wins out here? Like the sluggish Eagles offense or, the solid Bills defense here. Brett, a lot of nuance here. They don't rush the passer particularly well, but I mean, I don't think schematically it's fantastic. What do you think here? Jalen Hurts and the Eagles up against Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is a great spot for Saquon Barkley, who finally
100%,
came alive last week. Yeah. I doubt if you drafted him in the first round, you're still in it. But
bro, I got 3 teams with Barkley left.
Really?
I drafted incredibly around him.
He's been on a heater though the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So the Bills' run defense obviously notably bad, and this is the type of running back specifically who gives them fits, guys who can break tackles and hit those explosives. Like I could see Barkley going 20 carries for 140 yards, where like 110 came on 2 touches. And
Lane Johnson's back.
Yeah, exactly.
The flip side too, Eagles' run defense has been awful the last 5 years. Like 130 yards a game, 4.7 yards per carry. Explosive run rate relatively high. They've given up some touchdowns as well. So James Cook v. Saquon Barkley.
This is probably, if anyone does it in the passing game, Devontae Smith probably. They've been lights out against tight ends. A.J. Brown has got a worse schematic matchup than Devontae based on current data.
They are kind of force-feeding Brown, though.
Yeah, that's very true. That's
40% target share in 4 of the last 5 games, I think. Sorry, 35% plus.
Yeah, he's been back to being like the main first read, and it's helped the passing offense, I think. To your point, John, I think Christian Benford's really good too, and he's a guy who can kind of run with Brown a little bit. But
right,
yeah,
that's true.
Right, yeah, that's what I was thinking too, because he lines up on that same side.
Yeah.
Boy, these Bills receivers, man, I kind of give up, man. I really do. Even Shakir, it's a terrible schematic here for Shakir, who'll see Cooper DeJean at times, and I can't do that. Any Bill receiver?
No, I gave up after week 1 with this. So.
Yeah. I mean, Shakir was okay in the middle of the year, but I've given up as well. They changed it up again last week. You know, Coleman and Davis were healthy scratches. They're really grasping at straws.
They're kind of
basically.
groping, yeah, groping. Chicago Bears at the San Francisco 49ers. Your weekly Caleb Williams update. Like, I'm sure he's still doing the hero ball stuff, and it might not be great, but I think at this point it's pretty indisputable that Caleb Williams has turned some sort of corner.
Another game where he was objectively bad until Romeo Doubs fumbled an onside kick, and then you got to see the magic happen. So,
right.
I mean, there's a regression coming for this Bears team. It doesn't look like it's going to hit this year, though. So maybe next year. But man, this is pretty spectacular. Obviously, the high end talent with Caleb is always been there. You just like him to be a little more consistent down for down, and he has no idea where the ball's going half the time. So,
boy, he's got a power arm, though, man.
Oh, it's crazy.
And he is Houdini back there in the pocket too. Like, he runs like the wind. You know, he's got such great speed to avoid those pass rushers.
Yeah, I think he that's catching teams by surprise. I am surprised no one's really adjusted yet. You can't rush him like a pocket passer. You know, you have to treat him like he's Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, because when he breaks contain, that's what he wants to do: break contain and make something happen outside the pocket. And teams just really have been reluctant to adjust to that. For whatever, probably because he's not a high rushing yards guy. At least he wasn't in college, wasn't really last year. So I don't think teams view him as that kind of player, but he's absolutely that kind of player. So,
and he should have time to sit back and do some business here against the Niners. Like, he should be comfortable back there.
That's usually when he plays his worst, though.
As we were just
true.
Yeah, that's true.
To that extent, though, if he's going to have a lot of time, he's eventually going to break the pocket for free and take yards downfield. So I don't know what to do in this game, because I've doubted both these teams the entire season, and they just keep winning. So, you know, Bears defense is very fraudulent. They're living on turnovers and turnovers only. Their yards per play against are like bottom 3 in the league. But man, so the 49ers should be able to move the ball on them for sure. Brock Purdy, if George Kittle's not too banged up, he should annihilate this defense.
Yeah. Another Juwan Jennings game, I would think. I see here actually not incredible schematics here for everybody, but yeah, I can't disagree. Purdy is on absolute fire. Jennings has been good as well, but we'll see about Kittle. He did look pretty frustrated on Monday night. And then over for the Bears, Graham, like, do you trust DJ Moore? I think you do if Odunze's out. Again, I'm looking forward to hopefully getting Burden back, because I would use Burden if he's practicing this week.
Yeah, I trust DJ Moore for sure. It's just this matchup, you know. To Brett's point, 49ers can't rush the passer, and their corners are definitely burnable. Whole passing offense kind of revolved around Moore last week, right? 7 targets. It was actually tying a season high for him. He's just not been a good season for DJ Moore. But yeah, Odunze hurt, Burden hurt. Loveland's still kind of in this part-time role with Kmet. So yeah, I'm with you on DJ Moore. I've been listing Caleb Williams as a sit for 5 straight weeks now, and that's worked for fantasy. He's just kind of been like a low-end QB2. I think this is the spot, though. This game has clear shootout potential with the Niners offense starting to surge. To your point, Purdy playing arguably the best he's played in a number of years. So I love Caleb Williams in this matchup for fantasy. Just kind of chase this 49ers pass offense, chase this game, and it could easily shoot out and score 60 points. So this is one of the best games of the slate. I think we've got 2 clear top games, Cardinals and Bengals, and then Bears 49ers here. Those are the 2 games that are going to decide a lot of fantasy matchups this week.
Kyle Monunga looked damn good last week, Brett, but you know, they'll still run those 2 dudes there. Colts did a pretty good job, or Niners did a pretty good job against the Colts, but that's a little different with you're talking Phil Rivers compared to Caleb. So there's a difference in the mobility there. LA Rams, final game on the docket here at Atlanta. And Brett, you were just waxing poetic off the air about Kirky Cousins. He still got it. What are you seeing from him?
He does still got it. Yeah, I mean, timing, rhythm, anticipation. I think the arm strength looks really good. I think the movement skills are better. Like that stretch he started last year, he was coming off that Achilles. He looked a little stiff. I think he looks pretty mobile as well. They're putting him under center a little bit more than they were with Penix, and I think the whole offense is moving better because of that.
Yeah, and Bijan Graham last week was incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Man, I loved Bijan. I played him in DFS, and it felt like he could have scored 40, but they played Algier in the closer role. Bijan's been unbelievable for a number of weeks. He had this cut. It got called back due to holding, but he had a cut where he had a defender literally in his lap, and he made this violent cut to the left that, I mean, I've literally never seen a player move like. I mean, I know Bijan's capable of making the cuts like that, but
on a pound per pound basis, he's one of the best, most talented, gifted running backs I've ever seen.
Yeah,
it's like him and Steven Jackson all time for me.
Yeah, Steven Jackson, great call, man. He could really move for the size. Barry Sanders, I think, right there in terms of agility. Yeah. Bijan's week 17, and it looks like it's week 1 for him. Yeah,
it's a young man's game, man. This is why I'm always on these young running backs. And I bail. Like McCaffrey, good. God love you. You got McCaffrey. I gave up. I was out 3 years ago. Hey, good for you if you got him, but this is what I do. Just long-term investing strategies.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be out. I think I said it a couple weeks ago on the show. I'll be out on McCaffrey this coming season. But
he looks like a fullback out there.
He did look a little. He's got a little more juice, I think, coming out of the bye. But yeah, he's still definitely lost a step. Stafford and Nakua pretty much carried fantasy teams across the board this past week. I think they're probably going to do it again. Stafford here against this Falcons defense that plays a ton of single high coverage.
Yep.
Stafford is just shredding single high coverages. Only Lamar Jackson, Drake May, Sam Darnold are averaging more yards per pass attempt against one high coverage this year. So really, you're running Stafford and Nakua no matter what, but I think we're in line for another huge game, especially if Atlanta can kind of keep this game close. Their offense has definitely looked a little better. Brett, real quick before we get out of here, I want to ask you about Drake London and what you saw with him last week. Look a little less than 100%?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's a good way to say it. Especially, I thought the matchup was really good for him.
Same.
And
I liked him a lot, actually.
The timing just looked a little off with him, too. The tempo he's running his routes at. And
do you think it's a reps thing? He hasn't gotten a ton of reps with Kirk.
Yeah, could for sure be a reps thing. Absolutely. And Kirk is a guy who wants to be in time and in rhythm. So, I was actually surprised London got, what did he get, 9 targets, something like that?
Yeah, he got the ball, but
8 targets.
Yeah. A lot of it seemed contested.
Yeah, it was pretty much all contested. Sometimes, there was a couple where the ball was there. He wasn't expecting it to be there, and I don't know. So
I said those Ram outside corners are not that scary.
No, that's why I'm asking. This could be a really good spot for him again.
Yeah, totally.
Have they had an injury there? Is it somebody's been hurt there?
Quentin Lake.
Quentin Lake got hurt about a month ago.
Oh, right.
The Rams pass rush too it's slowed down a little. I'm not gonna say a lot, but a little bit.
Yeah, it's not been as good.
Right.
Their run defense is awesome, but I don't really think that matters for Bijan. They're crushing teams.
It's in Atlanta, so I mean I feel all right about Kirky at least hanging in there and giving him a game.
I think he's a legitimately good streamer this week. Like if you did need a streaming quarterback, I think he's in play.
Hey, I started him in the Fantasy Points Dynasty playoffs, and he got me 19 points.
Yeah,
of course,
I
still lost. Yeah, he died like a dog. Tom Simon scored 194 against my ass. See, when you go up against Team Gurific in the playoffs, get ready to be happy because your teams always go off. That's just the way it is. In
what are
fact,
you going to do when somebody scores 190, though, John? That's crazy.
Oh, I know. I lost in the ship last year in this league, and Paul Kelly, once again, scored 190. This always happens to me.
I
I hate fantasy football. I'm just saying.
I just survived. I played a team in a dynasty league. Actually, it's our charter league. Troy Moore had Bijan, James Cook, and CMC, and I somehow survived that.
Holy crap!
Wow.
Who do you have?
I have John Taylor, CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, AJ Brown, Trey McBride. I started Kenny Gainwell. Chase Brown too. Chase Brown.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, he went off
30.
So
yeah.
Oh, Tom Brawley won, beat Paul. So it's Tom Brawley against Tom Simons. The battle of the Toms.
Tom squared.
Yeah, it's a Tom kind of a game here. All right. Well, on that note, on that unfunny impromptu joke, we will wrap it up here. This has been the Week 17 edition of Matchup Points at fantasypoints.com. Obviously, we did record this a little earlier than usual for the holidays, so stay on the site for the latest. And my Hanson's Hints column will have all the pertinent data, all the rankings. I know projections are live and all that good stuff. And of course, do not forget about the early bird deal going on right now. 20% off any Fantasy Point subscription, and we threw in an extra 5% off with the code THEWORM, one word. Lock in the best rate, the best deal before it expires on Super Bowl Sunday. Happy holidays again to everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, although we'll be back next week before the new year. For Graham Barfield and Brett Whitefield, I'm John Hanson. This has been the Week 17 edition of Matchup Points at fantasypoints.com.